Good afternoon and welcome to our virtual chat with Northwestern Mutual. Today we have Erin and Jenna Lewis with us from Northwestern Mutual to share about their internship program and other information about jobs and employment with Northwestern Mutual. So Erin and Jenna, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'd love to hear more about your company.
Thank you for inviting us. My name is Erin Orr. I work out of the Frederick location in Maryland. We do have several locations throughout Maryland. I work specifically with Frederick in recruiting career changers, and Jenna works more with the internship program. I also do development. So once we have the onboarding process is done with our new recruits, we help them develop their business plan, and I work with them one-on-one and coaching throughout the process as well. I've been with Northwestern for about 10 months now, and I'm originally from Georgia, and I moved to Frederick about 11 years ago, and I really enjoy the company and the culture. Jenna, I'll give you the floor.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenna Lewis. I work out of the Hunt Valley, Maryland and York, Pennsylvania offices. I'm the Assistant Director of Recruitment for both of those offices, and like Erin said, I focus majorly in the internship program because I myself just graduated from Towson University in 2019, December. I've been with the company exactly 3 months now, and I really enjoy the culture and everyone that I've met so far, getting to learn and experience a lot of different things that I wasn't expecting when I first took the job with Northwestern Mutual. Our internship program is very in-depth. So we offer a financial advising training program. The internship starts out with a 2-week in-depth training class where you attend 8 to 5 and you learn all about what financial advisors do. One thing I like to point out that I love about this internship is that the training you go through as a college student is exactly what college graduates and career changers are going through as well, learning how to be a financial advisor. So that means 2 things. It means in college, you're going to start building your own book of business and owning your own business. Along with our in-depth training program, we also have a mentorship. So you get assigned to your own mentor that'll help you through the process, as well as having the guidance of people like Erin and I on your development team and a college unit director. As far as applying to the job, we do offer applications through northwesternmutual.com, but you are more than welcome to reach out to Erin or I for more information, and we can definitely share our contact information with you. Absolutely. So for our internship, the selection process is 4 different meetings. The first meeting would be with a member of our recruiting team, so someone like myself or with Erin. And then you start diving in with our college unit director. And through the selection process, we actually have you do a project to test the validity of your market and to see how ready you are to take on a job as a financial advisor. And this project is through market surveys. So you get to really get in touch with your market, with your friends and family and previous coworkers, and ask them what they think your strengths and weaknesses are and if you should take on this role. That's something that's really special that we do. We want to make sure every step of the way that you're just as engaged and just as ready for us as we are for you. Getting to know you, we take about an hour in our initial interview to get to know where you grew up, where you're going to college, where you're living during the semester or during the summer, and we tackle that head on to begin with. It's not something that we want to take you through the selection process of Hunt Valley if you live in Frederick or if you live in a different state. We want you to really connect with that office through the selection process, so we try to figure that out either in as soon as possible, so either in a phone screen or an initial interview, whatever your first step is in the selection process.
Process is very, very much the same, as in it's a 4-step interview process. Like Jenna said, we screen through the first meeting on where the person is located, because we want you to work with the office closest to you. So that's how we decide, which recruiter you need to be in contact with. And then we move on to an in-depth meeting where they just learn more about the company, the company's pay structure, and things like that. We assign the DYM project to help them develop their market. And then in the next steps, they would meet with, in my case, a career changer would meet with another advisor who was a career changer, just because they had the same background, and we feel that works best.
I would say the best way to get in touch with us is directly through a recruiter. And I say that because the way that the online application process works is we do have a careers page, and you do find your local office and you can apply that way. However, if you attend Hood College and say you live in Ohio or South Carolina, and you reach out to us and say, hey, I might not be in the area, but I'm from here, we can reach out to the recruiter in your local area as well to get you in touch. So one thing I like to share is what I look for in an ideal candidate. First and foremost, I look for someone who is outgoing and a good conversationalist. I think that's the most important. Secondly, I like someone who is hardworking and ready to learn, someone who isn't afraid to put their nose to the grindstone and learn a whole new set of skills that they may have not had before. I also enjoy people who have a passion for helping people. So I'm sure Erin has some things that she'd like to add to that, but those are my top 3 that I love in a candidate.
We definitely look for the passion in the business, wanting to serve people and help people build a plan for their future and their future family generations, accumulating the wealth and preserving their wealth as far as finances goes. So they have to have that. They have to be coachable, willing to continue to learn, be an active learner, eager learner, so to speak. Also very entrepreneurial. So that's a big part of the career. And that's why we take you through the Develop Your Market project to see if you're able to network and market. And if not, we can coach you to do so. But we like to attract that type of person into the career.
Absolutely. As we just defined in the ideal candidate, not one of those things is you have to be a finance major, you have to be an accounting major. We will take majors of any nature as long as you're willing to learn and you're willing to do the position. We're willing to work with you and coach you and teach you what you need to learn. For instance, I'm a double communications major. I do have a business minor, but I never thought I'd be working in financial services. But I've learned so much. I've gotten the appropriate licensing, and I've put my nose to my own grindstone to figure out what I need to learn to do this job correctly and well.
Great.
So the way that I came into Northwestern Mutual is a little bit more unique. My direct supervisor, Amber, reached out to me on LinkedIn actually to see if I would know anyone who was looking to be a financial advisor. And I got to talking to her and told her what my major is and that I'm still actively looking in the job market today. And we sat down and had a conversation. I met with her twice before I met our managing director, Dave. And what attracted me to the company was the fact that I could sit there for an hour and a half or 20 minutes and not know the difference. I could talk to them about anything and everything. And I really felt like I was a missing piece of the puzzle. And they made me feel that way coming into the business and to their office. I feel rewarded every day. That there's something that I can do. And if I decide to take off one day, like that, I need to give them advance notice because the wheel wouldn't turn without me, which is really rewarding and something I was looking for personally from a job. And another rewarding thing for me is being able to reach out to, like Erin had mentioned, my focus has primarily been on the internship. So getting to reach out to people who are about to graduate or still in college, being a recent college graduate myself, was a really unique approach and something that I know I won't be able to do forever because I won't be a recent college grad. So I like to those people come through the career or the internship and really say, hey, I've been there, I've done that, and it wasn't that long ago. So anything you need, I'm there for you.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of those conversations recently. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of people who who are out of a career right now, or who have been misplaced during this time. So I always just try to, encourage them to try something new. Like we said, you don't have to have a certain major. You don't have to have the experience. I remind them that we have survived several crises as an organization. We've been around for 163 years. And each year we've come out stronger. I also like to let them know, now more than ever, people are aware of the benefits of owning the insurance plans, or having that in their financial plan. So it just draws the attention to that part of the financial plan. And I feel like now's a good time for them to take on this role in helping people navigate through these times, even with if they're small business owners and they need help with their business finances.
Certainly. So I'll tackle it first and then pass it to you, Erin.
Okay.
I definitely believe in finding a quiet space to really focus fully on the interview. I've held a few interviews where there have been people working around and talking in the background or walking in the background. So I definitely think finding your own space. And we are in a time where you have nothing but the internet. So I definitely recommend doing your due diligence and research. As a step that we take in the interview process is, before we even invite you to an interview, we'll send you some resources, whether that be documents or videos, to look at regarding our career. So I always tell people to take those resources and go one step further with them. We do have like a YouTube channel where there's a bunch of videos about a day in the life of an intern or a day in the life of a full-time career person, like what our compensation structure is like. So I definitely tell people to take charge of that. When I was interviewing, I watched probably 20 of those videos because I wanted to know what I was going into. So those are my two main topics that I like to bring up, is to find your own space. And you ladies know where I'm sitting right now. So it could be just a small corner in your house or apartment that you just make it your own, make it quiet and comfortable, because you do want to show up professional, but you want to be comfortable talking to the people that you're talking to.
Yeah, I'd like to add, make sure you're still dressing like you would if you were going to meet someone in person. Make sure that your camera and your lighting, you don't have anything distracting you in the background, or distracting the other, the recruiter on the other side. And also, make sure that you put everything in your calendar. Those are good tips, and come with questions. So, we want to make this more of a conversation than an interview. But we do want you to ask questions. Talk about your ultimate dream job. And that's actually one of my favorite questions to give when I'm interviewing someone is, if you could right now, if we're friends and you're talking to me, share your dream job with me, share your dream career. So yeah, I think thinking through the interview beforehand would help.
My favorite interview question is actually an open-ended question. I like hearing about how you grew up, whether that be your parents, your siblings, where you went to elementary school, what your favorite memory was. I think how you grew up, where you grew up, and some of your favorite memories from there really define who you are as a person and define who you come into it as a professional. And I really like people to expand upon that.
I do like to know a lot about their growth, upbringing and where they're from originally. But I do think my favorite question is the one about what would be your dream career. Because I obviously it tells me a lot about them and what their goals are.
I want to know that they're a hard worker. Me personally, I don't necessarily take into consideration a grade point average. I think that is absolutely admirable. If you're getting 4.0s, and I congratulate you, and if you're taking hard classes in 18 credits a semester, I absolutely commend and congratulate you. However, if you're willing to put in the work, and maybe you're not the greatest student, you don't test well, so you put in as much work as you can and you still get C's and B's, that's absolutely fine with me. I want to know about what classes inspired you to choose your major. I want to know, what was your favorite class, what was your least favorite class, and why. I want to know if you're involved in any activities at school and what inspired you to join certain clubs or organizations.
That's exactly what I do. I get to know the person. It's a plus if they took finance or business classes, because they've worked those memory muscles, and they've grown, and they have all the knowledge behind it. But really, for the role as a financial advisor, you need to be someone who can carry on conversations with other people, and someone who likes to connect with other people, and someone who has the passion to help other people and make an impact on their life. So it's the soft skills that really have you excel in this career.
I can tag mine straight back to communication. I've had interviews that I've scheduled out for an hour that have ended in 20 minutes just because the person is not willing to go back and forth. They want to answer my questions, and I don't know if it's nerves or what the case may be. However, I'm not looking for just a direct answer to my question, and then I'm not interrogating you. I want to have a conversation with you. I feel like an interview should be more of a conversation. It should go off on tangents, because that's how you get to really know somebody. My best interviews have gone on over the hour time limit that I've allowed, and we've gone on multiple tangents, and I feel like I know their favorite TV show and things like that. So yeah, basically my deal breaker is the communication. Again, I'm not trying to interrogate someone. There's no perfect answer to the question. There's a perfect conversation though.
I agree with you, Jenna, 100%. It's all in the conversation, and their ability to sit and have a conversation with you.
I would definitely recommend, sometimes I'll even go into an interview saying this. I'll say, hi, my name is Jenna. I've only been with the company for 3 months, so please bear with me. I just started doing interviews by myself, and I hope that calms people down a little bit. But definitely to take a more relaxed approach. If you're feeling nervous, just express that. Just say, I really enjoy this job. I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I think that says so much to a recruiter, that we can say, okay, maybe it wasn't the best conversation, but let's have another conversation with them in a week and see if they loosened up a little bit. I think that says a lot more than trying to hide your nerves and just being quick to answer questions and get off the phone. Just be open and honest. Like I said, it is a professional conversation, but we want you to be as relaxed as possible. Understand that we're humans just like you, and we were in your seat at one point, whether it be mine was 3 months ago, my supervisor was 7 years ago, but we understand that we were in your seat at one point, and we can understand nerves. This is my first job out of college. I was extremely nervous going to my first interview. I didn't know what to expect, but be yourself in the most professional way that you can. And if you're feeling nervous, definitely express that to us.
I like to remind them that just because I'm a recruiter and I do multiple interviews a day, it doesn't mean that I don't get nervous. So I'm still going on a blind date. I'm still meeting this person for the first time. It's exciting. And sometimes those nerves can come off as, scary and exciting. Like you get the same feeling from them. But I've had multiple people who were extremely nervous in the first interview. And then by the second interview, they were like a completely different person. So I think just, us being able to talk to them, and sometimes even bringing in another person into the room can help the situation too.
One big advice that I have that I actually learned from attending different recruiting panels myself because, like I said, I'm 3 months in the business. I'm still learning. I attend panels too for myself to learn. Address the elephant in the room. First and foremost, say, hi, I live with roommates, parents, dogs. I'm sorry if that becomes a distraction. When I'm living at my condo, we're right next to a fire department. So sometimes the fire truck goes by and I say, I'm so sorry, the fire truck's going to go by. Can we resume in 5 minutes? I have moved while on video. I'm like, please excuse me. Like, the landscapers just came. I need to move away from a window. So we experience just as much technical difficulties. We understand the technical difficulties. I've been in the position where my video cut out in the middle of an interview and someone else had to carry the team. So we understand it. Erin, I'll let you add too, but just addressing if you are nervous about it or say, I live in the middle of nowhere and I have a spotty internet connection and I want to apologize in advance, then we'll expect it. And if everything goes smoothly, then that's even better.
Yeah, and there's always the option to take a phone call. It doesn't have to be face-to-face. I've even held interviews where their camera didn't work, so I was basically having a phone call, but they could see me. So yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. We're able to conduct meetings via phone anyways. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. So I don't know about Jenna, but I don't usually ask that question. It's not one of the questions that I ask. The question that is similar that we do ask is, what's the biggest risk you've ever taken? And so that tells us a lot about the person. And I really like that one better because I've been asked, what's your greatest weakness? And I feel like the majority of people, at least in my opinion, is the majority of the people have the same answer to that question. And it could just be like everybody Googles that question because it is so popular.
No, I definitely agree. I don't personally ask that question. To answer your question, though, I would say honesty is the best policy. We don't go about asking that question just because it's scary and nerve-wracking. And I've been asked that question before, and I've tried to come up with 100 different answers and just feel out the interview first, because I've been in a bunch of interviews before I landed this job, and see what answer I wanted to use. The question I use, I don't use what's the biggest risk. When I'm asking about work experience, I ask what is one thing from each job that they wouldn't want to carry over and why, or what did they think that they did not excel in at a job. So that really does ask pretty much the same question without asking it. It tells us a lot about your character and how you work as an individual without asking you to define your weaknesses, because I just don't think that's a positive thing to bring to the table to begin with.
I think next steps, just because it is a four-step interviewing process and there's projects along the way. I think asking, what are the next steps, or, how do I move forward, are really good questions. So during the interview, the first initial meeting, we actually let them know in order to become a financial representative, you'll have to study and sit for your life and health exam. And that gives them the ability to actually sell insurance plans. So that is something that we address in the first interview. As far as the internship goes, they have to pass the life and health exam by the end of training. And that's because once they come out of training, they're going to have clients already set up, and they can't go through and sell policies without having that license.